Money. I need money. Alright, before I get into the topic, welcome to a proof of life concept where I prove to be alive in this free flow of spoken word on this digital format of video. I am going to try and dive into why I desire money, my relationship with money, the importance of money, I guess everything on money. Money is not evil. Inherently, money is not evil. I used to think that money was a necessary evil that we as a society needed to materialize trust, materialize goodwill and signal in our morality, in contracts, in how we transact with exchanges of goods and services. I saw it as like a necessary evil that makes people greedy, that makes people bad, that causes suffering. But as I've grown, as I've navigated the world, I've learned that money is not evil. It is an amplifier for change or a reducer of change. Money is an amplifier of what is at the core. Money is not inherently evil. I just want to make that clear. But money makes us humans do strange things. It makes us perform in strange actions and weird behaviors that at surface do not make sense, that seem irrational. But we are not irrational creatures. I mean, we are emotional, maybe that makes us irrational. We all have an intuition on things. We all have intuition embedded in us. And most humans are just driven towards the next living state, which means they're just looking to find stability in their living situation, their living circumstance, aiming to survive in a loose sense. We all are striving for the next living state, the next thing, the next aim in life, the next chapter, the next big house, the next thing, the next purchase. We are in constant disequilibrium. So when is enough enough? And I think this is what is at the core of what makes us fall into weird behaviors, what makes us fall into greed and evil actions, because we are all capable of evil acts. We're all capable of cruel behavior. We are all capable of missing the mark. I don't think anyone really desires evil. No one ever desires evil. No one desires bad things to happen. But things just happen, and things are uncertain. Things are highly entropic. And we want to control the chaos. We want to be able to say that we are in control, that we have agency over our circumstance, that we can transcend our survival. But we cannot always control the flow of energy. We cannot control the universe. We are not more powerful than God. But I think we can help direct this flow of energy. I think we can have at least that agency over what we can control, over the levers that pull and push on what you choose, what you decide to spend your life doing. I think I'm really questioning myself right now because I don't have a lot of money in my bank account. I have $7. Of course, I can dip into stocks, but I don't want to sell stocks because the more money you save, I think the more money you have in your investments, that is the more of your future you own. So ideally, I don't want to sell stocks just so I can make ends meet. I want to be able to provide for myself, to be a source of life, because I have this desire to be a giver, to be a provider, to be someone who can give, who can be a source for others. I want to be able to be that kind of person. But I am not that person, and it is hurting my ego. I see that, I am aware of it. And I have this desire for more. I have this desire that I need to make money, that I need to make the most money I can. But I question my desire. I question, will this lead me into greed? I know there's a nuance between self-interest and greed. I know they're not the same thing, selfishness and greed, or selfishness and self-interest. I think we all work in our own self-interest, but I don't think there's always winners and losers. I think there are situations where there is a winner and a winner, or win and win situation. Although it's very hard. I think it requires a lot of energy efficiencies and complex things, but simply I think the better you're able to let energy flow from you, let yourself be a vessel for energy to pass, for money to pass through, for love to pass through. Because you cannot take money to the grave, but perhaps we can take love and compassion to the grave. Although that is a whole nother topic. But I think money is more spiritual than we think. I think money is a form of trust. It signals trust. It signals sentiment. But I am skeptical on how it pulls our strings as humans, as how it pulls our emotions, on how we navigate life. I'm going to look at my notes a bit here. But again, money is more dependent on our behaviors rather than our intelligence. If you cannot live below your means, it doesn't matter how smart you are. You could be the smartest man in the world, spend every dollar that you make, and live poorly. And I have found myself in this rat race, maybe because I'm so fixated on trying to make it. But I think in your 20s, you shouldn't really be focused on trying to get ahead, but rather trying to find who you want to become, to discover who you really are. Above the noise of expectations of society, of others' perceptions. What do you really want to spend your life doing? I think that's the big why as to what your 20s are for. Do you know who you want to become? Do you know to what end, to what purpose? Question everything. I think that's the key to a happy life. To have this kind skepticism, to hold this kind skepticism, to be curious, to be wonder, to have wonder. I think that is a proof of life, a source of life for yourself. And that is maybe the key. But that all sounds good and easy on the surface, but I really question, how does money contaminate this? How does my desire for more contaminate this? I hate this conflict I have between patronage and craft, especially when I'm writing my book that I've been trying to write. I'm conflicted because I want to get the book out so I could sell it. And I hate how that sounds. I hate how that feels. And I do not want to rush it, but I also know that I am a procrastinator, and if I don't put a deadline on myself, the book will never be finished. And maybe that's an okay driving force to be motivated by money. I think it's okay to be motivated by money, but it should not be the main why. It should not be the main motivator. Because what happens when you have all the money in the world? What is left? What is there left to do? You no longer have those dreams. What is your dream? Don't lose your dream in the pursuit of money. Don't lose your childlike wonder in the pursuit of money. I keep reminding myself that, but I also wonder if this is also blocking me from opportunities. If I'm so caught up in my own delusions, I miss opportunities to live a good life, to live a life where I don't have to worry about money. Because that's where I really want to be, in a place where I don't have to worry about money. It's not that I want more money, it's that I want to be in a place where I don't have to worry about money. I think that's an important line to draw when enough is enough. As long as you live below your means, I don't think it really matters how much money you make. If you live below your means, you will always be a rich man. Money matters most to people that don't have it. I know this to be true. You cannot convince someone in poverty that money is not their solution. You cannot convince someone who has a loved one in the hospital struggling to pay the hospital bills, and tell them that money is not your solution. More money is the solution there, because it allows for you to support those moments when you need money most. So maybe that's what I desire, to be more certain, to protect my future. Because the more money you save, the more of your future you own. But there is a conflict there between the present and the now, or the present and the future. Do you do things that your future self will thank you for? I don't know. I hope I am doing that. I hope future you, Jake, is thanking me right now that you are content with where you are in life 5 years from now. I know I've been getting into a lot of projects, trying to create these fun ventures to help people to also, while also trying to make money. It is a delicate dance, and I know it's a slippery slope, but I know you are not evil. I know you're not inherently evil, Jake, but we all have a shadow. We all have our vices. But do your best to reduce the bad and stretch the good. Do you really need to pay the piper? Does a piper really need to be paid? There's this concept called tong ping. I don't know if I might have butchered that. It's a Chinese word which means to lie flat. And it is a way of life to opt out of the rat race, to do minimal expenditures of energy in the task you are put into, situations that you're put into, to maintain your agency as much as you can. When I thought of this concept, when I ran into this concept, I thought of Diogenes. I don't know if I said his name right, but it is a man who Alexander the Great wanted to be like. He was the man on the street with his cup, and all he had was a cup, just talking and living the way he wanted. He was a recluse, a hermit. He did not care of what society's expectations were. He was just like a little hermit. And I know that's oversimplifying it, but I also remember he threw away the cup because he saw a child using his hands to drink water. He's like, how could I be so stupid? But I digress. I don't know if I want to live like that, living on the street, having no care of what society's expectations, because I think I want to engage with society. I want to connect with others. So maybe, I don't know. But it is an interesting philosophy, Tong Ping, to decide to opt out of the rat race, to decide to lie flat, to conserve your energy for things that matter most. It is a different way, a different philosophy, and to let really energy flow, to contemplate and to give yourself space to breathe, to think, to live. So I think I see two schools of thought. The one where you spend less energy on the mundane, grueling acts of work. And then I see another school of thought where you work hard. You work hard to make money, make more money, so that you can provide a better life for yourself. And you don't have to work as hard later on in the future. So I think I understand myself a little bit better from this, from talking it out. Hopefully it's not too much of a spiral. But money is a interesting experiment, interesting social experiment we have created as humanity. Money does not solve all the world's problems, but I cannot deny that it helps. That it helps to live a better life. But I wonder where that line is. Where how much money really facilitates a good life. But thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed this. Money is not evil. Monkeys are not evil. But yeah, I don't know where I was going with that. Maybe I am just a little monkey looking for money. But you can stop watching now. Yeah, subscribe to the channel. Subscribe to the Live Life Letters. And yeah, follow along the journey. Alright, peace.